We live from New Delhi. You're watching TT India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next 30 minutes. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar underlines challenges of excessive concentration of critical minerals and importance of de-risking supply chains as global leaders attend US-hosted critical minerals meet. Iran and the US confirm crucial nuclear talks to be held in Muscat on Friday. Iran thanks Oman for hosting arrangements. Ukraine says trilateral peace talks with US, Russia to continue. Zelensky seeks firm security guarantees. Seychelles President Dr. Patrick Herminy to visit India on state visit marks 50 years of diplomatic ties. And India storms into sixth consecutive Under-19 Cricket World Cup finals, set up title clash with England. And on to the details now. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar spoke at the Critical Minerals Ministerial Meet in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday, stressing the need to secure and diversify global supply chains for critical minerals. Dr. Jaishankar underlined the challenges of excessive concentration and the importance of de-risking supply chains through structured international cooperation. He highlighted India's efforts towards greater resilience through initiatives including National Critical Minerals Mission, Rare Earth Corridors and Responsible Commerce. Well, Dr. Jaishankar also conveyed India's support for the Forge initiative aimed at strengthening cooperation on critical minerals and ensuring reliable, sustainable supply chains essential for future technologies. Well, Forge is a US-led international trade bloc designed to secure critical minerals and reduce reliance on China. And on the sidelines of the meeting, External Affairs Minister met Canadian counterpart Anita Anand. Two leaders spoke about taking the ties forward. Also, Dr. Jaishankar met with Peru Foreign Minister Hugo de Zella. Both agreed to deepen the cooperation. And NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang lauded announcement made by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in the Union budget on providing a tax holiday till 2047 to any foreign companies using data centers built in the country. Jensen Huang said that AI infrastructures such as data centers can recreate the incredible scale of jobs that the internet created when it reached the Indian market.
Yeah, not only welcome data center companies to India, but also build data centers in India by Indian companies. And both of those are necessary. With respect to data centers, the actual building of the data center is maybe 5,000 people, 10,000 people. And there are electricians and plumbers and construction. But don't forget, the derivative workforce, the labor that contributes to ultimately delivering that data center is really quite gigantic. Look at the internet of India. The amount of jobs that has created upstream as well as downstream as a result of the internet, incredible. Same thing. Artificial intelligence will do exactly the same thing.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi will pay an official visit to Malaysia from 7th and 8th February 2026. Prime Minister Modi's Malaysia visit is taking place at the invitation of Prime Minister Malaysia Anwar Ibrahim. In fact, this would be the third visit of Prime Minister to Malaysia. During the visit, Prime Minister will hold bilateral discussions with Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. Prime Minister will also interact with members of the Indian community as well as industry and business representatives. The 10th India-Malaysia CEO Forum is also scheduled to be held, coinciding with the visit of Prime Minister. India and Malaysia share long-standing bonds of friendship based on historical, civilizational and cultural connections. Also, the relationship is further strengthened by the presence of a 2.9 million strong Indian diaspora in Malaysia, the third largest in the world. Also, India-Malaysia relationship is multifaceted and growing, and the forthcoming visit of Prime Minister serves as an opportunity for both the leaders to review the entire gamut of bilateral cooperation. And some updates from Parliament now. The Lok Sabha, or the lower house, was adjourned in dramatic and unusual circumstances on Wednesday evening, minutes before Prime Minister Narendra Modi was scheduled to reply to the debate on the President's address. Repeated disruptions were witnessed by the opposition over a variety of issues, due to which the House was adjourned twice to finally meet at 5 p.m. But due to continued sloganeering by the opposition, Lok Sabha was adjourned till 11 a.m. Thursday. Apart from this, a general discussion on the Union Budget for 2026-27 is listed for today in Lok Sabha. Talking about the Rajya Sabha, or the upper house of Parliament, further discussion on the motion of thanks on the President's address is listed for today. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi is likely to speak in the Rajya Sabha today. Well, the lower house on Wednesday managed to transact little business so far, with Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal apprising the MPs of the India-US Trade Framework Agreement. He assured the House that India has successfully safeguarded the interests of sensitive sectors, particularly the agriculture and dairy, while ensuring significant benefits for Indian exporters. Take a look.
India's Minister of Commerce and Industry, Piyush Goyal, delivered a statement in Parliament on India-US Trade Framework Agreement, the details of which are being finalized. The minister assured Parliament on Wednesday that the Indian side has successfully safeguarded the nation's interests related to sensitive sectors, especially agriculture and dairy.
कृषि क्षेत्र में भारत की प्रमुख संवेदनशीलता को पूर्णतः ध्यान रखा गया है। साथ ही यह साझेदारी लघु एवं मध्यम उद्यमों, एमएसएमईज, उद्यमियों, कुशल श्रमिकों और उद्योग के लिए नए अवसर खोलेगी।
Minister further said that the India and US understanding aligns with India's vision of Make in India, Design in India and Innovate in India for the world, and is a significant step towards Viksit Bharat 2047 and Atmanirbhar Bharat. On energy imports, Piyush Goyal reiterated that ensuring energy security for 140 crore Indians remains the government's top priority. He said diversifying energy sources is central to India's strategy as the country moves towards becoming a developed nation. Piyush Goyal also informed the members of Parliament that both sides will work together to conclude the technical details and paperwork and detailed contours of which will be announced after all procedures are completed.
मैं स्पष्ट करना चाहता हूं, जैसा कि सरकार ने कई बार सार्वजनिक रूप से कहा है कि 140 करोड़ भारतीयों की ऊर्जा आवश्यकताओं की सुरक्षा सुनिश्चित करना सरकार की सर्वोत्तम प्राथमिकता है। वस्तुनिष्ठ बाजार स्थितियों और बदलते अंतर्राष्ट्रीय परिदृश्यों के अनुरूप ऊर्जा स्रोतों में विविधता लाना हमारी इस कार्यनीति का मूल आधार है। भारत की सभी कार्रवाइयां इसी बात को ध्यान में रखकर की जाती हैं। अतः मैं माननीय सदस्यों से इन मुद्दों को समुचित दृष्टिकोण से देखने का आग्रह करता हूं।
Reduction of US tariffs to 18% has been the biggest takeaway so far from the developments which took place on Monday following a phone call made by US President Donald Trump to Prime Minister Modi. Bureau Report, DD India.
And moving on, President of Seychelles, Dr. Patrick Herminy, will undertake a state visit to India from 5th to 10th of February. This will be President Herminy's first visit to India since assuming office last October. The visit coincides with the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic ties between the two countries. Also during his visit to India, President Herminy will meet President Draupadi Murmu and hold discussions with Prime Minister Narendra Modi on bilateral, regional and international issues of mutual interest. The visiting dignitary will also visit Chennai and Mumbai, where he would be attending business events. Seychelles is a key maritime neighbour for India in the Indian Ocean region and holds a special place in India's vision Mahasagar and our commitment to the global south. The visit of President Herminy to India following the visit of the Vice President of India to Seychelles in October 2025 is expected to lend further momentum to wide-ranging cooperation and robust people-to-people ties between the two countries. And moving on, India's Chief of Defence Staff, General Anil Chauhan, met with many dignitaries during his Armenia visit. CDS General Anil Chauhan led the Indian delegation for a courtesy call on Karen Brutyan, Deputy Minister of Defence of the Republic of Armenia. The interaction underscored the commitment for strengthening bilateral defence cooperation and advancing strategic collaboration across key security and regional domains of mutual interest between both the nations. General Chauhan also interacted with the Minister of High-Tech Industry of Republic of Armenia, Mikitar Hayratapetyan. Earlier, General Chauhan interacted with the Prime Minister of Republic of Armenia, Nikol Pashinyan, exchanging views on the evolving geopolitical landscape and prevailing security environment. Well, the discussions also highlighted emerging opportunities for collaboration and avenues to further strengthen bilateral defence and strategic cooperation. And the 13th edition of the joint military exercise Khanjar between India and Kyrgyzstan began at Misammari in Assam on Wednesday. The 14-day exercise aims to exchange best practices and experiences in counter-terrorism and special forces operations in urban and mountainous terrain. The exercise will also focus on developing advanced special forces skills of sniping, complex building intervention and mountain craft. The annual training event will provide an opportunity for both sides to fortify defence ties while addressing common concerns of international terrorism and extremism. The exercise reaffirms the commitment of India and Kyrgyzstan towards fostering peace, stability and security in the region. And Sri Lankan President Anurakumara Dissanayake inaugurated the public exposition in Colombo of the sacred Devni-Mori relics of Lord Buddha brought from Gujarat. The relics arrived at the Bandaranaike International Airport in Colombo from Gujarat via Delhi and were later taken in a special motorcade to the Munapitiya Gangaramaya temple following religious observances. The public will be able to venerate the sacred relics round the clock at the historic Munapitiya Gangaramaya temple from Thursday until 11th of February. The exposition coincides with Sri Lanka's 78th Independence Day, which is marked on Wednesday. And Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasarya thanked the Government of India and Prime Minister Narendra Modi for facilitating the exposition, calling it a blessing for the people of Sri Lanka.
Witnessing these relics, that's a huge honor and a tremendous opportunity for our people. So I really appreciate this gesture by the Indian government, by Prime Minister Modi, for taking these relics out for the first time to Sri Lanka and giving this opportunity to us.
And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. Many killed in deadly gunmen attacks across central and northern Nigeria as security forces search for survivors. Manchester City completes 5-1 aggregate win over holders Newcastle to set up Carabao Cup final against Arsenal. And rare giant phantom jellyfish spotted during deep-sea expedition off Argentina's coast.
Food systems contribute to a third of global planet warming emission. In today's episode, let's take a look at what happens when food systems stop working for everyone.
After Hatibondo arrived, we discussed as a village the challenge that we were facing. And we came to the conclusion that we should sow some crops, especially for the elephants.
The Meramo Cafe is basically promoting this circular economy. So there's not much transportation involved in that process. So this is one way that we are reducing the carbon emission from that point of view.
Is probably laughing because despite the fact that they're cleaning up other people's problems for free, it seems like nobody here actually wants them to be doing it.
Well, nearly 200 people have been killed by armed men in separate attacks in remote villages in central and northern Nigeria as security forces searched for survivors and chased the attackers. In central Kwara state, gunmen attacked a Woro community, leaving at least 170 people dead. Several people were still missing on Wednesday morning. In a separate attack in northern Katsina state, gunmen killed at least 25 people. Freshly dug graves lined the community on Wednesday as families gathered to bury the dead. The attack came 5 months after villagers reached an informal deal with the gunmen not to target the area. These deals, where communities trade money or food for protection, are now common but frequently fail, leaving residents vulnerable. Nigeria's defense minister has repeatedly warned state governments against a negotiation with armed groups, arguing they cannot be trusted to honor commitments. And on to some sports news now. The Indian men's under-19 cricket team marched into their 6th consecutive World Cup final after securing a commanding 7-wicket win over Afghanistan in the second semi-final of the ICC Under-19 World Cup in Harare on Wednesday. Aaron George's sensational 100 helped India chase down the target of 311 in 41.1 overs. Captain Ayush Matre also contributed with a vital 62. The foundation for the chase was laid by Vaibhav Suryavanshi, whose explosive 68 provided India with a blistering start. Afghanistan also batted well as they posted 310 for 4 in 50 overs, powered by centuries from Faisal Shinozada and Uzairullah Niaziai. India, eyeing their 6th Under-19 crown, will battle against the only other unbeaten team, England, in the final on Friday. And Manchester City completed a 5-1 aggregated win over Newcastle United to storm into Carabao Cup final on Wednesday. Already 2-0 up on aggregate after first leg win at St James Park, the Blues dismantled the Magpies in the first half with a superb display of attacking football. Omar Marmoush grabbed a brace and Tijani Rajinders added a third as City opened up a 3-0 lead inside 32 minutes at the Etihad. Newcastle pulled one back just past the hour mark, but it was too little too late as City recorded a resounding 5-1 scoreline over the two matches. They face Arsenal now in the title clash. And scientists on a deep-sea expedition along Argentina's coastline have documented a rare giant phantom jellyfish, Stygiomedusa gigantea. The species can grow up to 1 meter wide, with 4 arms stretching up to 10 meters, which it uses to capture prey without stinging tentacles. Let's have a look. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live. Well, let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.